Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a true gem of American numismatics, the 1954 wheat penny. This little coin might just look like any other penny, but trust me, if you have one in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know why this penny could be worth up to $75,000, or even more, at auction. Let's set the stage. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was minted from 1909 all the way to 1958, and the 1954 version is one of the coins that still captures the fascination of collectors today. Now, most people might think, it's just a penny, right? How much could it be worth? Well, that's where things get interesting. If you come across a 1954 wheat penny in excellent condition or with certain rare errors, it could be worth far more than its face value of just 1 cent. So let's dive into why this coin is so sought after. First off, let's talk about the coin's design. On the front, you'll find the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, beautifully etched into the coin. His portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner, and this image has graced the cent for over a century. The reverse side of the coin, however, is where the magic happens. The two wheat stalks framing the word 1 cent are what give the coin its name, and the design was meant to symbolize America's agricultural roots. But it's not just the design that makes the 1954 wheat penny special, it's the condition, rarity, and the potential for finding something extraordinary that makes it truly valuable. Now, you might be wondering, why would a 1954 wheat penny be worth $75,000? Well, here's where the rarity of the coin comes into play. Most of these pennies are widely circulated, which means that finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is quite rare. A coin that has been preserved in mint condition without any wear or damage can fetch a premium price at auction, but that's not all. Certain minting errors can send the value of these coins through the roof. So, what are these rare errors? Let's break it down. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1954 wheat penny is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, resulting in a faint doubling of the design on the coin. This error can be most noticeable on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse of the coin. If you're lucky enough to find a 1954 wheat penny with this double die error, it could skyrocket in value. Some of these coins have been known to fetch prices well beyond $75,000 at auction. The rarity of these double die errors and the condition of the coin makes them highly desirable to collectors, but that's not the only error you should be on the lookout for. Another valuable variation is the repunched mintmark error. This occurs when the mintmark on the coin is stamped twice, creating a slight overlap. If you find a 1954 wheat penny with this minting error, especially if it's in great condition, it could also command a significant price. These types of errors make each coin unique, and collectors love the idea of owning a one-of-a-kind piece. Let's not forget about the subtle differences in the way the coins were minted. For example, there were two different types of 1954 wheat pennies, the 1954 D mintmark and the 1954 S mintmark. While both are worth more than face value, those with rare minting variations, like the double die or repunched mintmark errors, are where the real value lies. It's these small, almost imperceptible details that separate an average coin from a truly valuable one. For example, coins that have been stored properly in a protective casing without being handled frequently are much more likely to survive in mint condition, making them even more desirable. If you have a 1954 wheat penny that looks almost brand new, you could have a winner on your hands, especially if it features one of these rare minting errors. Now, let's talk about the auction world. If you happen to have a 1954 wheat penny with one of these rare errors in top-notch condition, you could easily see it fetch a price of $75,000 or even higher at auction. The demand for error coins is strong, and serious collectors are constantly on the hunt for these hidden treasures. Coins like this are often sold in highly competitive bidding wars, where the price can shoot up dramatically. So, if you've got a stash of old coins lying around, it's worth taking a second look at your 1954 wheat pennies. Even if you don't have a minting error coin, a well-preserved example can still be worth a substantial amount more than face value. But if you do find a rare variant with a double die or repunched mintmark error, you could be sitting on a goldmine. In conclusion, the 1954 wheat penny isn't just another penny, it's a potential treasure that could be worth $75,000 or more if you happen to find one with a rare minting error. These small, seemingly insignificant coins hold so much more value than you might think, and the hunt for rare variants is what keeps collectors coming back for more. So, next time you're going through your old coins or browsing through coin rolls, keep your eyes peeled for that elusive 1954 wheat penny. Who knows? It might just be the coin that makes you a small fortune. Top 2, we've got a special treat for all you coin collectors and history buffs out there. We're going to talk about a classic American coin, the 1945 wheat penny. You might think, it's just a penny, but trust me, this little coin has a surprising amount of value, and some of these pennies can sell for a staggering $87,000, or even more, at auction. Stick with us, and we'll dive deep into why this coin could make you a fortune. The 1945 wheat penny is a piece of history that's linked to the end of World War II, a significant moment for the United States and the world. During this time, the country was experiencing a shift in its economy and its place in the global order. The 1945 wheat penny, like many coins from this era, holds a bit of that history, but its value today comes from much more than nostalgia. It's the rarity, the condition, and certain minting errors that make it one of the most desirable coins in the world of numismatics. Let's take a look at the design of this coin. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln, who needs no introduction, is one of the most revered presidents in American history, and his image on the penny has become iconic. On the reverse side, you'll find 2 stalks of wheat flanking the words, 1 cent, a symbol of America's agricultural heritage. This design is what gives the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. It's simple, yet powerful, and it represents the strength and resilience of the nation during tough times. But here's where it gets really interesting: the value of the 1945 wheat penny isn't just based on the design. It's the rarity of these coins, especially those with errors, that drives the price sky high. Most 1945 wheat pennies are relatively easy to find, but if you have one in exceptional condition, or better yet, with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands, possibly tens of thousands of dollars. So, what are these rare errors, and why do they make the 1945 wheat penny so valuable? Let's start with the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck twice during the minting process, and the result is a faint doubling of the design. This is most noticeable on the letters and numbers, especially on the word liberty and the phrase, "In God we trust," on the obverse. If you happen to find a 1945 wheat penny with this error, it's one of the most sought-after varieties, and it could fetch an impressive price at auction. Another error to look out for is the repunched mintmark error. This happens when the mintmark, typically seen on the reverse side of the coin, is struck multiple times, causing it to overlap or appear doubled. For collectors, this kind of mistake is a treasure because it's unique, each one is different. The repunched mintmark error adds to the coin's mystique and makes it even more valuable. You might also come across a 1945 wheat penny with unusual wear or unique characteristics. For example, coins that were produced during wartime or under special circumstances often have slight variations that make them stand out. These subtle differences can increase the coin's value, as collectors are always searching for something rare or unique to add to their collection. Now, let's talk about how much these rare 1945 wheat pennies can actually be worth. In general, a well-preserved 1945 wheat penny can be worth significantly more than its face value of 1 cent, especially if it's in uncirculated condition. However, when you factor in errors like the double die or repunched mintmark, the value can jump dramatically. Coins with these rare features have sold for upwards of $87,000 at auctions, sometimes even more. depending on the exact condition and rarity of the error. Imagine finding a coin that you thought was just a simple piece of currency, and it turns out to be worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the kind of opportunity that makes coin collecting so thrilling. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, knowing what to look for is key. If you have a 1945 wheat penny in your collection, or you stumble upon one at a garage sale or in your loose change, don't just brush it off. Take a closer look. You could be holding a valuable piece of history. In summary, the 1945 wheat penny is far more than just a low-value coin from the past. If you have one in pristine condition or with a rare error, you could be looking at a small fortune. With the potential to be worth $87,000, or even more, at auction, this penny is a true hidden treasure for collectors. So, if you happen to find a 1945 wheat penny, check it carefully for any signs of rare errors or exceptional condition. You never know, you might just have a rare coin that could make you a very lucky person. Top 3, we're talking about a coin that's often overlooked but could be hiding a massive value, the 1950 wheat penny. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, but what if I told you that a single 1950 wheat penny could be worth $80,000 or even more at auction? Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around because this is a coin that's definitely worth paying attention to. The 1950 wheat penny is part of the iconic series of Lincoln cents that were minted between 1909 and 1958. These pennies are known for their distinctive design. On the front, you'll find Abraham Lincoln's portrait, and on the back, the two stalks of wheat that give the coin its name. But the true magic of the 1950 wheat penny lies not in its design, but in the rarity and potential errors that make it valuable today. At first glance, you might think the 1950 wheat penny is just another common coin. After all, it was minted in large quantities. But here's the catch: while most of these pennies are relatively easy to find, a select few are incredibly rare, and those are the ones that can fetch staggering prices. So, what makes this coin so special? The answer lies in the minting process and the small mistakes that can turn an otherwise ordinary penny into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. The first thing you should know is that the 1950 wheat penny was minted in two different locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Most of the coins from this year were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but a much smaller number were minted at the Denver Mint. So, if you happen to find a 1950 penny with a D mint mark, it could be more valuable, especially if it's in great condition. But that's just the beginning. What really sets some 1950 wheat pennies apart from the rest are the rare minting errors. One of the most valuable types of error you'll find on this coin is the double die variety. A double die error happens when the coin is struck twice during the minting process, resulting in a slight doubling of the design. On the 1950 wheat penny, this doubling can often be seen on the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. If you happen to find one of these double die 1950 wheat pennies, it could be worth thousands, or in some cases, even up to $80,000, depending on its condition. But wait, there's more. Another valuable error on the 1950 wheat penny is the repunched mintmark error. This occurs when the mintmark is struck more than once, causing it to overlap or create a faint double appearance. A 1950 penny with a repunched mintmark is highly collectible and can increase the coin's value dramatically. These errors are unique, and collectors love the idea of owning a coin that's different from all the others. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like all collectibles, the better the condition, the more valuable the item. A 1950 wheat penny that is in mint or near mint condition is far rarer than one that has been worn down by circulation. If you find one of these coins in excellent condition, especially with an error, it could fetch a price far above the typical market value. The coin's condition is critical to its value, so keep that in mind when evaluating any 1950 wheat penny. So, how much can these coins actually be worth? If you find a 1950 wheat penny in flawless, uncirculated condition, it could already be worth hundreds of dollars. But when you factor in a rare minting error like the double die or repunched mintmark, the value can soar. A 1950 wheat penny with one of these rare errors has been known to sell for $80,000 or even more at auction, depending on the specific error and the coin's condition. Imagine finding one of these hidden gems in your collection or even in a box of old change. You could be holding a coin worth more than you ever imagined. That's the thrill of coin collecting. With the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you could find a 1950 wheat penny that could turn into a small fortune. In summary, while most 1950 wheat pennies are relatively common, those with minting errors, like the double die or repunched mint mark, are rare and incredibly valuable. If you happen to find one of these error coins, or if you have one in your collection, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to $80,000 or even more at auction. So, keep an eye out for these rare variants. They could be worth a lot more than you think. Top 4, we're going to dive into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic American coins, the 1957 wheat penny. Now, you might think that a penny is just a penny, right? But what if I told you that this small, seemingly insignificant coin could actually be worth $73,000, or even more, if you happen to find one with a rare error? Sounds unbelievable, but stick with me, and I'll explain how this little coin can make you a fortune. The 1957 wheat penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. If you're familiar with these coins, you'll know that they feature the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the classic reverse design with 2 stalks of wheat. This design has become synonymous with American history and is deeply rooted in the country's agricultural heritage. But here's where it gets really interesting: the 1957 wheat penny is not just another ordinary coin. While most of these pennies are still relatively easy to find, there's a certain rarity and value attached to specific ones, especially if they have minting errors or unique characteristics. These pennies are highly sought after by collectors because they're not just a piece of currency, they're a piece of history that could be worth a small fortune. So, what makes the 1957 wheat penny so special? It's all about the errors and unique features that can make certain coins incredibly valuable. One of the most exciting errors to look out for is the double die variety. Double die errors happen when a coin is struck multiple times, leading to a noticeable doubling of the design, especially on the letters and numbers. On the 1957 wheat penny, you might see the word Liberty or In God We Trust appear to have a ghostly double impression. If you find a penny like this, it could be worth thousands of dollars, potentially even up to $73,000 or more at auction, but that's not the only error you should be on the lookout for. Another valuable error is the repunched mint mark variety. This occurs when the mint mark is struck more than once during the minting process, leading to a faint double or overlapping mint mark. On the 1957 wheat penny, this error can make the mint mark appear to be doubled or misaligned. If you find one of these pennies, especially in great condition, you could be holding a coin that's worth significantly more than its face value. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. While errors are important, the condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. A well-preserved 1957 wheat penny, free from wear and damage, is already more valuable than one that's been circulated for years. If you come across a penny in mint or near mint condition, it could be worth a pretty penny on its own, without even needing an error. But when you combine a rare error with excellent condition, you're looking at a true collector's gem. So, what's the potential value of a 1957 wheat penny with one of these rare errors? Well, if you find a double die or repunched mint mark error in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $73,000 or more at auction. That's right, this little penny could turn into a big payday if you find the right one. And the best part? These errors aren't always easy to spot, which makes finding one even more exciting for collectors. In addition to these errors, there are also some special, unique features that can make a 1957 wheat penny stand out. Coins that were minted during certain years or under specific conditions may have slight variations that make them more collectible. These subtle differences can boost the coin's value, especially if it's a rare find that appeals to collectors looking for something one-of-a-kind. Imagine digging through your old coin collection or even stumbling upon a 1957 wheat penny in your pocket change. With a little bit of luck and a sharp eye, you could be holding a coin worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. That's the thrill of coin collecting. It's not just about owning coins, it's about finding rare and valuable treasures that could turn your collection into a goldmine. In conclusion, while the 1957 wheat penny might seem like an ordinary coin, it has the potential to be worth far more than its face value. If you find a penny with a rare error, like a double die or repunched mint mark, and it's in excellent condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $73,000 or more at auction. So, if you have a 1957 wheat penny in your collection or find one in circulation, make sure to check it closely, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 5, we're going to talk about one of the most exciting coins that could be hiding in your collection or even your spare change, the 1953 wheat penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny. But trust me, this is no ordinary penny. A single 1953 wheat penny could be worth $78,000 or even more at auction if you happen to find one with a rare minting error. Sounds too good to be true. Well, stick around because I'm about to show you exactly why this little coin is so valuable. The 1953 wheat penny is part of the long-running series of Lincoln pennies, which have been in circulation since 1909. What makes these pennies so special is not just the historical significance, but the chance to find a rare error or variation that can dramatically increase the value of the coin. The design is classic. On the front, you've got the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and on the back, 2 stalks of wheat. It's a design that has been a symbol of American currency for decades, but what makes the 1953 edition worth paying attention to is what could be hiding beneath the surface. Most of the 1953 wheat pennies that are out there are relatively common, but there are some that stand out from the rest, especially when it comes to minting errors. These mistakes, often overlooked by the average person, can turn a penny into a small fortune. The key to finding a valuable 1953 wheat penny is understanding the types of errors that could increase the value. One of the most valuable mistakes you might find on a 1953 wheat penny is a double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing the design to appear doubled. For the 1953 penny, this doubling is often visible on the letters "In Liberty" and "In God We Trust." If you come across a 1953 wheat penny with this error, it could be worth thousands, up to $78,000 or even more at auction, depending on its condition and the quality of the doubling. Another error to watch for is the repunched mint mark variety. This occurs when the mint mark, either an S for San Francisco or a D for Denver, gets struck more than once, resulting in a faint double appearance. Finding a 1953 penny with a repunched mint mark is a rare and exciting find for any collector. If you've got one in good condition, it could fetch a pretty penny, far more than a standard 1953 wheat penny. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the higher the value. A 1953 wheat penny in excellent, uncirculated condition is far more valuable than one that's been worn down by years of use. If you find one that looks like it just came out of the mint, you're already sitting on a coin worth much more than its face value. And when you combine a rare error with a high-quality coin, the value skyrockets. So, how much could you be looking at for a 1953 wheat penny with one of these rare errors? If you happen to find one with a double die or a repunched mint mark error in pristine condition, it could sell for $78,000, or even more at auction. That's right, a penny worth just 1 cent could turn into a fortune. Imagine finding one of these hidden treasures in your old coin collection or stumbling across one in your pocket change. It could be the jackpot you've been waiting for, but here's the thing, these rare errors are hard to spot, and that's part of what makes them so valuable. They're not easy to find, which is why collectors are always on the lookout for pennies like these. So, if you're going through your coin jar or checking out your collection, be sure to look closely at your 1953 wheat pennies. You never know, you might have one that's worth far more than you ever imagined. In conclusion, while most 1953 wheat pennies are relatively common, those with minting errors like the double die or repunched mint mark are worth a whole lot more. If you find one of these rare gems in good condition, it could be worth up to $78,000, or even more, at auction. So, next time you come across a 1953 wheat penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. That small coin might just be hiding a big treasure. Top 6. We're talking about the 1944 wheat penny, and trust me, this isn't your typical penny. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, this one could actually be worth as much as $93,000, or even more at auction, especially if you find one with rare errors. Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick with me, and I'll explain exactly why this little coin could make you a fortune. Now, let's start with some history. The 1944 wheat penny was minted during a very interesting time in American history, right in the middle of World War II. The United States was in full wartime production, and copper, which was normally used for pennies, was in high demand for ammunition. Because of this, the U.S. Mint decided to produce pennies from zinc-coated steel instead of copper in 1943. But by 1944, copper was back in the mix, and the penny returned to its classic composition. However, this shift in materials during the war created some very interesting coins in the years that followed, especially the 1944 wheat penny. The coin features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the 2 stalks of wheat, which give the coin its iconic name. But here's where it gets interesting: the value of this coin isn't just about the design, it's about the rarity and the possible errors that can make it so valuable. So, why is the 1944 wheat penny worth so much? While most of the 1944 pennies you'll come across are relatively common, there are a few very rare versions that can fetch huge amounts of money. The key is in the errors. Let me explain. Point 1. Of the most famous and sought-after errors in the 1944 wheat penny is the steel penny. Yes, you heard that right. In 1944, there was a rare mix-up at the mint where some steel pennies, meant for 1943, ended up being struck with the 1944 date. These rare steel pennies are incredibly valuable. In fact, if you find one of these, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $93,000 or more, especially if it's in excellent condition. They're extremely rare, and the demand for them among collectors is sky high. Another error to look out for is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck twice, causing the design to appear doubled. On the 1944 wheat penny, this error is often noticeable on the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. If you happen to find a 1944 penny with this kind of error, it could dramatically increase the value, potentially pushing it well into the thousands, $93,000 or even more, depending on its condition and the quality of the error. And it's not just about the errors, but also the overall condition of the coin. A well-preserved 1944 wheat penny that hasn't been worn down by years of circulation can fetch a much higher price than a penny that's been heavily used. Mint condition coins are incredibly valuable, and when you combine that with a rare error, the potential value skyrockets. So, what are you looking for? Well, if you find a 1944 wheat penny that's made from steel, or one with a double die error, you could be sitting on a goldmine. These coins can be worth $93,000 at auction, or even more, depending on the rarity and condition. But remember, these coins are not easy to find, and the odds of stumbling across one are slim. But that's what makes it so exciting, right? The thrill of discovering something truly rare. Now, let's talk about the odds. While the 1944 wheat penny itself is not extremely rare, the errors I mentioned earlier, like the steel pennies and double die varieties, are the true treasures. Most people don't realize how much these pennies are actually worth, and that's what makes coin collecting so fun. You never know when you'll come across one of these hidden gems in your change jar or in a roll of pennies. In conclusion, the 1944 wheat penny might seem like just another old coin, but in reality, it could be worth up to $93,000 or even more if you find one with a rare minting error. Whether it's a steel penny or a double die, these errors make the 1944 wheat penny a highly sought-after piece for collectors. So, if you're lucky enough to find one in your collection or in circulation, make sure to take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you think. Top 7. We're talking about a coin that might be hiding in your collection right now, the 1949 wheat penny. Believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary penny could actually be worth up to $83,000, or even more, at auction if you find one with rare errors. Sounds too good to be true. Stick around, and I'll show you exactly why this small coin can pack a huge punch in terms of value. Now, let's set the stage for this incredible coin. The 1949 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series that's been in circulation for over a century. Featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and 2 stalks of wheat on the back, these pennies have been a symbol of American currency since 1909. But why is the 1949 wheat penny so special? Well, the key to its value lies in rarity and minting errors. You see, most of the 1949 wheat pennies you'll come across are not worth much. They're common coins that were mass-produced during that era. However, a few rare variations of this penny exist, and when you find one, it could be worth a small fortune. Let's talk about what makes the 1949 wheat penny unique. Like I mentioned earlier, most of these coins are widely circulated and not that valuable on their own. But there are certain errors that occurred during the minting process that can make them incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. The first error to watch for is the double die variety. This is when a coin is struck multiple times by the press, causing the design to appear doubled. In the case of the 1949 wheat penny, you might notice that the word "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" looks a bit off, almost like they're shadowed or doubled. This is a serious error, and coins with double die varieties are highly prized by collectors. A 1949 penny with a double die error in great condition could fetch up to $83,000 or even more at auction, depending on its quality and how well preserved it is. Next, there's the possibility of repunched mint marks. A repunched mint mark happens when the mint mark on the coin, whether it's an S for San Francisco or a D for Denver, gets struck more than once, leaving behind a faint second mint mark. This error is rare, and if you're lucky enough to find a 1949 wheat penny with a repunched mint mark, it could significantly boost the value of the coin, possibly pushing it into the tens of thousands of dollars range. But it's not just about the errors, condition matters too. Like with any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. If you have a 1949 wheat penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it will be worth more than a heavily worn one. Collectors are always on the lookout for high-quality coins, and a 1949 penny that looks like it just left the mint is worth a lot more than a penny that's been battered by time. Now, let's talk about how much money you could be looking at. If you happen to find a 1949 wheat penny with a rare minting error, such as the double die or repunched mint mark, and it's in excellent condition, you could see it sell for around $83,000 or more at auction. Yes, that's right, $83,000 for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. Imagine stumbling upon one of these in your collection or finding it in a roll of pennies. That could be your ticket to a life-changing windfall. The beauty of coin collecting is that you never know what hidden treasures might be out there. A penny that looks like a simple, everyday coin could actually be worth more than you ever imagined. So, if you have a 1949 wheat penny lying around, don't just dismiss it as another old coin. Take the time to carefully examine it for any of the rare errors I mentioned. You could be holding on to a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1949 wheat penny may seem like just another old coin, but if you find one with a double die error or a repunched mint mark, you could be sitting on a goldmine worth up to $83,000 or more. Whether it's a rare error or just a pristine, high-quality coin, the 1949 wheat penny has the potential to make you a lot of money. So, the next time you're flipping through your coin collection or checking out some pennies you found, take a closer look at your 1949 wheat pennies. You just might find a hidden gem that could change your life. Top 8, and this last video is going to open your eyes to a stunning reality. We're diving into the 1966 wheat penny, a coin that may look ordinary, but it has the potential to be worth as much as $65,000, and even more at auction if you happen to find one with rare errors. Sounds too good to be true. Stick around, because I'll explain why this seemingly regular penny could actually be your ticket to a small fortune. Now, let's talk about the history behind the 1966 wheat penny. As part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, these pennies were produced during a time of transition in the U.S. currency. By 1966, the wheat stalks that adorned the reverse side of the penny were replaced with the new design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. But before the design change, the 1966 wheat penny was minted and distributed widely, and it's here that the story gets interesting. While the 1966 wheat penny might not seem special at first glance, the real excitement comes from the errors that occurred during its production. You see, minting errors are what turn an ordinary penny into a valuable treasure. A small mistake at the U.S. Mint can make all the difference between a coin worth just a few cents and one worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. One of the most notable errors you'll want to watch out for is the double die variety. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to be doubled. If you take a close look at your 1966 wheat penny, you might notice that some of the letters, like those in Liberty or In God We Trust, appear doubled or blurry. This is a clear sign of a double die error, and collectors absolutely go crazy for these types of coins. In some cases, a 1966 wheat penny with a double die error in top-notch condition can be worth as much as $65,000. And if the coin is in exceptional condition or has even rarer characteristics, its value could exceed that amount when it hits the auction block. But the double die isn't the only error that can make the 1966 wheat penny valuable. Another rare error to look out for is the repunched mint mark. A repunched mint mark occurs when the mint mark on the coin, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco, gets struck more than once, creating a faint second mint mark. These repunched mint marks are incredibly rare and can add significant value to a coin. If you're fortunate enough to find a 1966 wheat penny with a repunched mint mark, especially one in excellent condition, you could be holding on to a coin that's worth thousands of dollars. Now, let's not forget about the condition of the coin. In the world of coin collecting, the state of preservation is key. A well-preserved 1966 wheat penny, one that's free from scratches, discoloration, or damage, will be worth significantly more than one that's seen better days. Coins that are in mint condition, or close to it, are in high demand, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a coin that has been carefully preserved over the years. So, if you happen to find a 1966 wheat penny with a double die error, repunched mint mark, or even just in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth $65,000 or more. That's right, $65,000 for a penny. It may seem hard to believe, but rare coins like this are exactly what collectors are searching for at auctions and coin shows. The demand for these rare variations is high, and the market for valuable coins is booming. If you think you found one of these rare 1966 wheat pennies, make sure to get it appraised by a professional. The true value of a coin can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and error, so getting an expert's opinion is always a good idea. And who knows? You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. In conclusion, the 1966 wheat penny might seem like just another ordinary coin, but with the right errors and in the right condition, it could be worth a small fortune, up to $65,000 or more at auction. Keep an eye out for double die errors, repunched mint marks, and coins in pristine condition, because these are the ones that could turn into a game changer for your collection. You never know where that next rare penny might be hiding, whether it's in your change jar or tucked away in an old coin roll. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our future discoveries. Who knows, your next coin could be worth far more than you think. Happy collecting, and good luck on your treasure hunt.